Hello Australia, Mitch is away and I'm in charge, and the circus has come to town. And tonight, an extra special treat. We've got 3 exciting sweet and sour virgins on tonight's panel. And speaking about tonight's show, the excitement we've got talking about tonight. Passing wind in front of your cute boss. Is there any redemption? WA and Queensland, should they go it alone? And what happens when you see all the telltale signs that your partner's cheating on you? What should you do? All that and so much more coming up soon.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, 'cause baby, it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Australia, and welcome to Sweet and Sour, and let's meet our panelists tonight. First up, we've got a musician, a lawyer, a counsellor, an all-round good guy. Dan Bull, how are you going tonight?
John, I'm well, and thank you for having me. I'm very excited, very excited to be here.
Fantastic. How's the legal fraternity going?
It's going well, it's busy, it's robust.
Robust, fantastic, yes.
And
yes.
happy to be a part of it as well.
Wonderful, and you're also a counsellor at a local city council as well?
This is true. City of Bayswater is my council that I spend a lot of time working as hard as I can for the local constituents.
Wonderful, and of course, in your previous life you were a musician as well, which will all come up in handy for tonight's show.
Absolutely, we're going to be doing a gig. Did I mention to the panel? We're all getting instruments and we're going to go nuts.
Oh, look forward. Okay, speaking about going nuts, here's our resident journalist, Rashelle. Welcome back.
Hi, John.
You know, you're the only non-panel virgin tonight.
Yes, I do feel like an old hand, I must say.
Absolutely. So how's it all been going?
Well, after I've just heard what Dan's doing, I feel like I'm underachieving and nothing's going on in my corner.
Oh, well, let's go from your corner to another corner. Catherine. Well, Catherine is a counsellor and an event organiser. How are you going tonight, Catherine?
I'm going really well, John. Thank you.
Fantastic. So what's some of the events you've got coming up?
Well, we're looking to relaunch Maylands Markets, and we're doing a Riverside Bark Fest, which is a dog festival.
Oh, very exciting for the people in Maylands, and of course, big things. We can't announce it tonight, but watch you out for 2021. Catherine doesn't have 2020 vision; she has 2021 vision. So it'll be very exciting in 2021. And now, of course, what doesn't make a panel complete without a small business owner on the panel? Andrew Jones, how are you going?
Swell, John, very swell.
And how's the business going?
Very busy at the moment. Yes, selling a lot of wine, doing a lot of veggies.
Fantastic. Because just to let people know, you're a Swan Valley tourism entrepreneur. So it's very exciting out there. So what's your little chalet called out there?
Well, the chalets are in planning at the moment, but we will have them ready for the wedding venues.
Wonderful.
Along with the wine and the red and the white, so Sauvignon Blanc and Cabernet Shiraz Syrah.
Fantastic.
Bit of a blend.
Wonderful. Well, let's get on to our first letter, shall we? Dear panel, I have very fair skin and blush easily. At work a couple of weeks ago, thinking I was alone, I happily and loudly passed wind. I was extremely embarrassed to then see the head of department standing behind me at the public reception counter. He's an exceptionally cute, well-mannered and single man, who I've had a crush on since I started there 18 months ago. Not only did I turn a bright shade of beetroot, but I've managed to do so every single time I've seen him since that memorable occasion. I can't help it, but even more embarrassed about blushing, as I'm sure it reminds him of that little incident. Is it too late to say or do anything to restore my dignity? Or will I have to forget any idea of romance with this wonderful man, Ashmed, Croydon, South Australia? AJ, to you first. What do you reckon?
I actually read that as ashamed. I thought it was. I've just seen it.
Ashamed.
Ashmed.
Okay, no problem. Ashamed. It probably is ashamed. I'm just, all this talk about Pauline Hanson and One Nation lately. I thought I'd bring it onto the panel. Ashamed.
Well, allow me to respond, John. I actually don't think the problem here is passing wind. The problem's the environment. As a tradesman, we pass wind after iced coffees throughout the day, and there's no shame whatsoever involved. So I think what the person in this letter needs to do, they need to imagine themselves in a trade-based environment, and all idea of shame will dissipate.
Oh, okay.
The office is the problem.
So that chick becomes a little bit cuter to you then. No, just a real Aussie chick. Just let it go. Just let it go. And maybe she should play that theme song in the office. What about yourself, Catherine? What do you think? What advice do you have for Ashmed or Ashamed?
Look, I think that there is very little chance that this guy actually remembers your gaseous explosion. I think the main important thing here is that after 18 months, he's just not that into you. If he hasn't tried anything by now, it's not going to happen. Get over it, move on.
Get over it, move on. Okay, Rashelle, what's your advice?
But does it say when she did? Am I asking for too much information here? Okay, let's keep it simple. I think it's really an embarrassing situation, and I'm not surprised that you're blushing constantly. I don't know if you can salvage it. I don't know.
You don't reckon?
I don't know.
Yeah. He's going to be reminded of that incident every time he sees her?
I think every time he looks at her, he'll just probably start gagging.
Yeah.
Then to the bowels of the problem.
I share cabbage or not?
I suspect the staff review or the employee review may not be so great.
Especially if he's the boss.
Yeah, self-control may not be a strong suit. How about yourself, Dan? What advice do you have?
Well, with respect, Rashelle, I have to disagree with you. I think this is a case of breaking the ice by breaking wind. I'd say the old left cheek sneak can be, a heart winner, and I would encourage this person to take a heart warmer, that's true, take a deep breath, confront him, and see if he's got a good sense of humour and he enjoys the comfort of you and your company, particularly on those cooler evenings.
So tell me, Dan, have you done anything embarrassing where you think, oh, I wish I didn't do that at work, or somebody's caught me out? Or...
Regularly. That's one of my signature moves. I'm just sitting at the office typing away. Oh, sorry about that, everyone.
I feel really nervous sitting next to Dan.
Yeah. What about yourself, Rashelle? Any embarrassing situations?
Never, ever.
Never.
On the record, never.
Never, ever. What about yourself, Catherine? Any embarrassing situations you regret perhaps didn't occur?
AJ, what about you?
Well, handball.
I'd rather not answer that.
Rather not answer? Okay, AJ, what about yourself? Anything you think, oh, I wish that didn't occur?
Slightly embarrassing. As an electrician, you run a lot of cables in tight roof spaces. You pretty much do Pilates and yoga at work, and naturally that relaxes everything. Just make sure that the customer doesn't pop their head up in the manhole, person's hole. I'm sorry, we've got to be politically correct. Whilst you're doing that, that was the worst.
Well, there's no
embarrassing
correctness here. You can be as politically incorrect as you like.
Well, person's hole. The manhole that goes to the roof.
Exactly. Well, look, ashamed. You should be ashamed. You're at work. Quite frankly, you are at work, and certainly letting one go like that. I don't know what you were thinking in the first place, especially where public can actually enter, and the obviously people come in to come to the business, and let me tell you this, every time he sees you, absolutely dead right, he's going to know you for one thing and one thing only, and depending on the stench factor means how bad he's going to remember it or not. So look, and hopefully you'll remember us, and coming back right after these commercials from our generous sponsors, we'll have another exciting letter for you. Stay with us.
Poor person, honestly, if they didn't feel ashamed before.
Getting in touch with Sweet and Sour is easy. Just head to sweetandsour.net.au to send us a letter. And while you're there, why not check out our past episodes? Plus, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And for a behind-the-scenes look at Sweet and Sour, check us out on Instagram.
Hello and welcome back to Sweet and Sour, and all letters read out on tonight's panel, we're sending them to the movies. And this week's movies is Love and Friendship, thanks to our friend Natalie Cameron at NRC Communications. Now let's move straight into our next letter. Hello Sweet and Sour panel. I think it's high time Queensland and Australia seceded from the rest of Australia. These two states have been economic powerhouse of this nation, and the other states just bleed us to fill up their coffers. This is going on with our GST distribution even though the boom is over. WA only gets 30% of the GST revenues it collects, and we are in deficit, which means you and me are paying much higher prices for water, electricity, licensing, hospitals, schools, roads. Imagine the level of ambience that could be enjoyed by all in WA and Queensland if they both seceded and cut off the GST drag that the Commonwealth inflicts on these two states. They could become one nation or two separate nations, each being totally self-sufficient. And the greatest advantage is that none of those out-of-touch so-called wise people from Canberra could stick their noses in our business again. Come on, it's a simple vote, that's it. I just don't know why we haven't gone down this path already. I understand WA voted in 1933 to leave the Commonwealth. Come on, panel, give the succession direction a push. And it's from Frank, Cloverdale, WA. Dan, what do you think?
Well, I think firstly, John, when you asked me to come on this program, you told me every letter was going to be about flatulence, and I'm noticing now that we're kind of steering away a little from that subject matter. But
well, no, this letter is complete and utter flatulence, so I'm very correct.
Ba-boom, ching, very good. I'll feed you, everyone, that's fine. Look, I think this is probably the wrong time to be looking to secede. Yes, we did have a boom. Unfortunately, it's got a little bit quieter in the local economy, and to secede may be the Australian version of Brexit. And I don't know whether that is probably the right thing to do at this particular point in the economic cycle.
What about yourself, Rashelle? You reckon it's time to go it alone?
Well, unfortunately today there was a report that was released called the State of the States. I don't know if you guys are across it, and basically we're sinking like a stone. If we can ride on their backs for a little longer, I say let's not escape from them, let's jump on them. Let's see if they can carry us for a while.
Okay.
Things are not looking so good.
Okay, what about yourself, Catherine? You want to go it alone? You want to stay? Should I stay
I
or
think
should I go?
if we're in the midst of the mining
Yes.
boom, I'd probably be all for it. But
Yes.
yeah, we're not there, so I don't know see what this level of abundance is that he references that we're going to get when he also mentions that there's that the mining boom is over. So
Oh, yes, and of course, you know, we really can't do anything because we've got to be focused, very strongly focused on 2021 as well, because some big things happening in 2021. So, how about yourself, AJ? What do you think?
Booms and flatulence. Pipelines, we're not far off flatulence, to be honest with you. No, if in doubt, cut them out. We're a dysfunctional family, so I think you need to have a physical division. We bring the pipeline down from the north, that can divide it, and we sell water back.
Okay, well, no problem. Well, I'm just going to ask you this very quickly. I think the letter is actually spot on in one part where they say that we are in deficit, which means you and me are paying much higher prices for water, electricity, licensing, hospitals, schools and roads. Now, I have to say, I think considering we had such a boom time, it's appalling mismanagement of state finances that we find ourselves in the current predicament that we do. What do you think, AJ?
Absolutely, but capital infrastructure, we've got all that water resource in the north of Western Australia. We need a pipeline. We don't have to charge ourselves for the water we bring down. We just put a pipeline that goes that way, and we charge them for it. And then we fill our coffers.
Yes, well, yes,
and we're
that's
back.
right. But in the meantime, we are paying record high prices for all our utilities. What about yourself, Catherine? Is it shocking mismanagement of the state's finances that we find ourselves in this position?
I couldn't comment on that, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay, don't want to comment?
I don't follow politics very, very closely.
Okay, no problem. Well, you'll be commenting plenty in 2021, no doubt. What about yourself, Rashelle? And look, could I just say also, I mean, not only are we now in record deficit, but we're now having to go down potentially cheap routes, getting cheap imports from China, and risking people's health at the new children's hospital with the asbestos scare for workers and potentially young children. Mismanagement, do you think?
Well, John, obviously the state government has got a lot of flack, not just from you, John, on this panel, but generally. But I don't think that seceding is going to be the answer.
Okay, no, I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the answer. Sorry, Frank.
What about yourself, Dan?
I think that what we need is strong leadership. We need strong leadership at the state level and also at the federal level. Representatives of Western Australia. We need those people flying over to Canberra and rattling the sabres and explaining to the other feds how important it is for Western Australia to receive its fair share of GST, and that can only really happen by having good, strong leaders at the state and federal level on behalf of Western Australian citizens.
So just on that point, now, obviously you hear the Premier here, Colin Barnett, go on about the GST, we're being robbed. Does he really have a right to say that, considering he was in the cabinet room of the state government that signed off on the GST deal that is subsequently, he says, is robbing Western Australia?
Probably not. However, we find ourselves in this situation now, and we have a state government who needs to stand up or put up, and we have federal representatives who represent Western Australia who need to do the same. And if they're not going to do that for us, then we need to make a decision at the ballot box.
I do think we've probably got a bit more leeway if the economy is as bad as it's saying it is now with these reports. So surely he's got more to go to bat with, because previously we did have a boom.
Yep.
So obviously,
You can't milk a dry udder.
No problem.
I like
well,
it. You can't milk a
absolutely.
dry udder.
Talking about the situation going from bad to worse. Well, when we come back, we're talking about all those telltale signs in the relationship when it goes to bad and worse, and maybe your partner's sneaking behind your back with somebody else.
Hi, I'm Damon. Tune into Sweet and Sour. Better advice than a bottle of whiskey and cheaper.
It's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour. It's time for Sweet and Sour.
So let's go straight into our last letter for tonight. Dear guests, they all cheat. It's just a standard design fault of all men. I don't know why I'm so angry, having found all the telltale signs that he's having an affair. The taking to wearing cologne, the hidden second phone, the late night work meetings that don't really take place, the phone calls at home that don't have anyone on the other end. So I know what he's doing. I just have a cluttered and non-objective mind at the moment. I don't know how I can come out a winner of all this. Do I Lorraine Babbitt and cut it off? Do I confront him but say goodness knows what? Do I say nothing but slowly poison him? Do I take a lover myself? Do I just do nothing because it will all pass? Do I play Mother Teresa and tell him I know but I forgive him? Anyway, what the hell do I do here? We've been married for 18 years and have 2 teenage girls. Why do men cheat? Why do women marry these pigs knowing they are going to stray? Where is the how-to book on what to do once you know he's cheated? Barbara Cloverdale, WA. And we're going to Catherine first on this letter. What do you think, Catherine?
Look, I'm not sure that he's even cheating on you. He might just be playing Pokemon Go. Smelling like cologne because he's hanging out at Pokestops with bearded hipsters. The extra phone because you need a lot of data to run Pokemon Go. Late night meetings, he's just going through all of the hot spots looking for those rare pokies. I'm not sure he's cheating on you. I think he's just trying to level up.
Okay, AJ, what about yourself? Is it a design fault of all men?
It is not a design fault of all men. There's many reasons why certain things happen and occur. But I'd agree there's a lot of things and signs in there that normal guys do. I wear cologne. I don't have a hidden second phone. I've got 2 phones. I have late night work meetings with my mum and dad. So these are all things I do. I would take a love of yourself. That's what I would do.
Take a love of yourself, absolutely.
Treat as to be treated.
He's not cheating, but go there anyway.
Yes. Okay, Dan, what about yourself? Design fault? Women marrying pigs? What's going on?
Well, I would not encourage any person to marry a pig. That's the first thing I'd say, particularly a farmyard animal of any sort. But putting that to one side, Barbara, I feel for you. I do. Irrespective of whether it's true or not, you must be going through a lot of grief. What I would suggest is that you perhaps confront him and find out, because otherwise, how else are you going to find happiness? Now, the other thing that I would say, John, is looking at these letters, I note that the one previously was from Frank Cloverdale, and this one is from Barbara Cloverdale. Perhaps Frank is spending too much time thinking about secession plans, and maybe Barbara needs to tell him to focus on her more and less about changing this country.
Oh, conspiracy theory. Here we go. What about yourself, Rashelle?
Well, I agree with Dan. I was thinking the same thing. You should just find out what's going on. I mean, you're sort of getting all upset and worried, and he could be playing Pokemon Go, like you're saying, or we don't know what he's doing. So we need to find out what's going on. I think an honest conversation would be a good start. I think that would help you a lot.
Yeah, look, I think Barbara, obviously, I think the one thing you haven't included here is you obviously still have a sexual relation. I would have thought if that's one of the telltale signs, perhaps the passion's gone out of the relationship. But by the sounds of it, you haven't mentioned that the sexual encounters have gone. So I don't know. I think maybe you're a bit paranoid with being a bit concerned where you don't need to be concerned. So I would personally just confront him, put it on the table that you have these concerns. But the biggest question is, regardless of the answer that he gives, can you ever trust him again with the way your mind's thinking at the moment? And I just want to change topics just for a little while. Speaking about marriage, what do you think, Dan, of the plebiscite that we've potentially got coming up for gay marriage in Australia?
I don't support the plebiscite. I think we've got a federal government who should do their job, and they should put it to a vote and do the right thing and pass the legislation to allow same-sex marriage.
Rashelle, what about yourself?
I agree. I think it's long overdue. I don't even know why we're still talking about it. Why isn't it done?
Exactly. I think the Conservative wing of the Federal Liberal Party is just prohibiting it, just going straight through Parliament and getting it over and done with. Instead, we want to spend all this money on something that's actually not binding on the members of Parliament.
Good grief.
What about yourself, Catherine?
Yeah, no, not a fan of the or supporter of the plebiscite at all. It's should have been dealt with years ago.
Yes, yeah. And AJ, what about yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. I mean, I will benefit from more weddings coming through my wedding venue.
That's right.
I've seen young couples come through.
You're a tourism entrepreneur in the Swan Valley.
That's right. Go down the route of marriage. Whether that's between a man and a woman, man and a man, woman and woman, it doesn't bother me one bit. I think, yeah, bring it forward.
Okay, very exciting. And of course, yourself, you've been recently married, still happy in bliss. You can put a hello out there.
Absolutely. Hello to my lovely wife, Jessie. Blissfully. Yeah, we were happy in a relationship before. We're happy afterwards. It's all good.
Fantastic. Just very, very quickly, do you want to put a hello and a happy welcome message to your loving partner?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for putting up with all of my crap.
Fantastic. What about yourself, Rashelle?
Hello.
Hello. That's it. And Dan, we've got to move on very, very quickly.
Yes.
Put a message to your lovely wife.
Nis, hi, I'll be home soon. I haven't put cologne on. I'm guilt-free. I do have 2 phones, but like AJ, it's for work.
If he tells you, just to let you know, Nis, if he tells you we're going to the pub afterwards, just don't believe him. Anyway, lovely partners you all have in any case. But we've got to pick a winner. We've got to pick a winner tonight. Who's your winner, Dan?
I'd have to go with Ms. Flatulence.
Okay, Flatulence. Rashelle.
Yeah, windy winner.
Windy, the flatulent, letter number 1.
Yeah,
Catherine.
She's not going to get a date out of it, so at least she can get us some movie tickets.
Yes, no, sunglasses, thanks to Aussie Opticals. And AJ?
Absolutely, finish on an airy note.
Airy note, fantastic. Well, guess what? We're sending letter number 1, ashamed, some glasses so she can cover up her face because she should be ashamed. Look, thank you very much. It's been wonderful. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Rashelle. It's been great having you on the panel again, our resident journalist. Thank you, Catherine. It's been a delight, and of course, big things to come in 2021. So it's wonderful, wonderful. And AJ, all the best for the tourism in the Swan Valley. Thank you, Australia. It's been a delight. I think our Virgin panelists have absolutely excelled themselves tonight. Thank you, one and all. Let's say goodbye, Australia. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
That's right. Well, thank you very much. I thought that was a good show tonight.
That was a great show.
Yeah, that's right. It was nice and breezy. And of course,